So part 3 of Arcane just dropped, and you know what that means, it's time for another Jinx guide. Today we're going to be covering the big one, which is laning phase. Honestly, laning phase is really important on Jinx. If you can get out of laning phase without being punished, the chances of you winning that game are significantly higher. So let's quickly just think and cover, what does a successful lane look like for Jinx, right? Overall, you want to survive the laning phase on Jinx and just move into the mid game with as much gold as possible without putting yourself in danger. So I've wrote up 5 little things you can do in lane to make sure that you're maximizing your laning phase on Jinx. So let's cover the most important thing, which is do not die. It's so important to not die on this champion lane. Unless you look back on it and it's in a really favorable manner, dying in lane on Jinx, and any other ADC for that matter, is a mistake that needs to be fixed. This is actually like a really good way to improve, and it's the way most people improve. If you just look over your laning phase in like VODs, or like use like Loki.gg or something like I use, it lets you just look over like how you died and why you died, especially if you look and you think, was this an error from like greed, mechanical error, being unaware of a map movement or something like that? Once you start fixing these, you'll feel yourself becoming such a better player. I'm gonna make a video about this in the future and cover how high elo players actually improve. Anyway, moving on to number 2. So Jinx is a scaler, right? You really want to be maximizing your gold income, and the best way to do this is to be really good at last hitting. Ideally, you want to be min-maxing your gold income, which means not missing minions in like the first couple waves, doing good wave management, things like that. You really want a high CS a minute. Anything below 6 is actually kind of troll. You want to aim for like 7 to 7.5 as an average for most games. Well, I mean, you want to aim for 10, obviously. You want perfect CS every game, but on most games, you're going to want to aim for 7 to 7.5 at least. But essentially, you just want to make sure you're last hitting very well, getting as much gold as you can from waves. Like, you don't want to base and be 40 gold short early, right, of like a noon quiver or a pickaxe or like a major base. Same goes late game. You don't want to base and be 60 gold off of like a BF sword or something, right? If you think about it, if you hit those first 3 minions in the game, or if you miss 3 minions, that could have been the difference between getting a BF sword for the next fight or not. So yeah, really want to be min-maxing that gold. Now, number 3 is you really want to be poking with your rockets. Your rockets are so long range, okay? You want to be autoing people as much as possible if they step into your range. You really want to be spacing really well with your rockets. Just quickly, for those of you who don't know, spacing is dipping in and out of an enemy's attack range, but you're getting autos off whilst you're dipping in and out. But yeah, poking with those rockets, either autoing or even getting a splash damage off onto them from a wave, right? Poking with your W is also really important to set your supports up for an engage. For example, if you have a Thresh and you hit a W, it's going to make his life so much easier hitting that hook on the flay. You know, it's going to make his life way easier if you just hit the W. Now, number 4 kind of ties in with this. Follow up when your support engages, or your jungler is around looking to gank or something like that. Unless it's really bad, in which case don't bother. You don't want to be taking bad fights. Remember, the first rule is to not die. Basically, you want to make sure you're in range to trap, you know, hit the W, auto with rockets or minigun, etc. The traps are really good follow-up CC for such as like Morgana binding or a Thresh hook. Just a little side note, Thresh is actually really good with Jinx because you can flay them into your traps as well for follow-up CC. And number 5 is, if you get a lead, try your very best to snowball it and not lose it. So now that we've talked about how a perfect laning phase could go for Jinx, let's actually watch one unfold. Now for this, we're going to be watching a pro player called Neon. Neon's support is going to be Pyke, and we're going to watch them dismantle this Caitlyn and Twitch support. So the first thing I kind of want to point out is Neon started with longsword and 3 pots. If you want to know more about why he did this, you can go look in the itemization guide as to why you'd start longsword 3 pots, but basically it's going to give you a lot of sustain and push you further into your mythic. So the first good thing we're going to see is when Pyke hits this hook, Neon is still standing at range and focusing the right targets. You can see how he stays at a range. He changes his focus from Twitch to kiting back Caitlyn. I just wanted to point this out because I think a lot of lower elo ADCs would see this as an all-in and just try go so hard onto Twitch and it will just fail. Remember that focusing the right target is really important. Even if they kill Twitch here, Caitlyn is probably going to get at least a kill onto Jinx, if not a double kill. Neon really played that well. He played without greed and he played right on the edge of that engage. Rocket poke is so crucial in lane, as you're just about to see here. Even without the hook, this trade is winning for Neon. Not only does he get an auto off, Kate also takes splash damage from the rockets. Rocket autos and splash damage are a crucial way to get ahead in lane. One rocket doesn't look like a lot, but once you start adding them up, like 2, 3, 4 rockets they've taken, they really start to add up and make a huge HP differential. And this can do things like force out potions, which we see Neon do here. We can also see how Neon respects the level 2. He knows the enemy bot is going to get to slightly before him and he doesn't want to play into their level 2. Having that discipline to know that you're not going to get level 2 and to just accept it is very important. A lot of players will linger around and then get killed by the level 2 and be like, oh, we should have been pushing, or you know, without accepting it. Whereas if they would have accepted it, they'd just be alive and maybe down 1 or 2 CS. Now this is swiftly followed by a gank. Neon and Pyke hit 2 and their junglers looking to gank. Now we have to remember that Jinx is not an early game powerhouse. and Eve doesn't really have good ganks pre-6. As we can see here, Neon is just trying to get off as much damage as possible without dying. So because Karthus damage comes from his abilities, Neon dodges these abilities, he should not be taking any damage. Now, Jinx is an auto-based champ, so she can just keep doing auto attacks to deal her damage, which is essentially what we see here. Shortly after this, Neon notices that something isn't right, something's up. The way the enemies are playing is way too aggressive, and I mean, that's because Twitch is there, right? This is really important when playing against Twitch or any invis champ. You really want to try and think like, where would they be to make a good play right now? And for Twitch in this game, it would be right here engaging on these low health targets. However, because Neon is smart enough and he's been tracking the Twitch and the amount of time-ish it would take him to be in certain places, he simply just backs up. He knows this isn't winning. Remember, when you're farming, it's not worth dying for just a couple of minions, right? Don't be greedy like that. I know a lot of the time when I get tilted, I think, ah, fuck, I've got to fix this wave or I'm going to lose so much, and then end up dying, and it's really not worth even fixing the wave at that point because I'm going to lose so much for it anyway, right? Because of this level of patience Neon has and his support being able to get a really nice hook and kill Karthus there, he's going to quickly grab this wave, base. He's got a lot of gold in his pocket right now, and he's going to base and buy a Noon Quiver. Caitlyn has really overstayed here, and it's really troll. The wave is so far pushed up, and he's playing with a Twitch support, and Twitch is top. Twitch has already started roaming, and Caitlyn doesn't respect it, so Neon just really punishes this. You can really see that now he's got a lead, and he's really using that rule 5 where he's just getting as much with it as possible. So not only does Pike get a kill, they also get a plate, and Neon gets a solo plate. The amount of gold that he's collected from waves, plates, and the kill is a lot right now. He notices his team are walking towards bot and uses his rockets to push the wave. When there's multiple minions, rocket pushes a lot faster than minigun because of the splash damage. So Neon switches to rockets and tries to get the wave under ASAP so his team can dive. Now when playing this dive, you can see how well Neon uses E to use it in that choke point where Caitlyn and Twitch are just standing there. Notice how far at range he is though. Always at range. Jinx range is crazy. Make sure you're always using this to your advantage when you're playing Jinx. Now after getting this kill bot, Neon sticks around for a bit to just further snowball his lead. But I want you to notice how he pushes the last wave not only for the gold, however, the wave control that comes with it. This wave is now going to crash into the tower. Not only does it deny Caitlyn minions, it's going to push the wave into Neon when he's coming back into lane, which makes it much safer for him. Wave control is a massive concept for laning phase. However, it's not just for laning phase, so I think it deserves a whole video of its own. Now we're going to divert for a short second and notice what Neon is buying here. Neon has bought a Vamp Scepter, which 99% likely he's going to build a Mortal Shield bow. This is a really wise choice for this game because survivability is going to be crucial in these team fights, especially when there's unavoidable damage such as Karthus ult. Now Neon is going to trade with Kate again under his tower. I have no idea what Kate is thinking. She definitely does not win out on this whatsoever. Neon has a Vamp Scepter and able to heal up all the damage that he takes, and also he's just way further ahead than this Kate, so he's going to deal more damage in the first place. He really starts to bully out this Kate now. Kate just cannot trade with him anymore, and she's basically just lost this lane already. The CS difference, which is about 30 right now at 7 minutes, just speaks volumes to how good Neon was with extending his gold lead and his snowball. This all started because Kate and Twitch took a very bad trade level 1. They lost a lot of HP, and then Karthus tried to gank and really failed. As if this game wasn't almost impossible already for Caitlyn, Neon is now not even going to kill the tower, so it kills his minions, which denies Caitlyn even more CS. This is a universal tip that you can apply to your even next game. If you're not racing for first tower and your opponent is dead or out of the lane, let the tower kill those minions. It's going to deny them from them, and they're going to suffer for it. And then Neon simply finishes off the bot lane tower and grabs his solo gold. At this point, laning phase is over. Once bot lane tower's gone down, I consider laning phase over, and I mean in this case for Neon, the game was over. And now that's going to wrap up this laning phase guide. When I release this, I'll also be releasing a fighting guide. It's very short, 2 minutes 30 or something like that. It's very short. I'd definitely recommend watching it on my channel, and it basically just covers the 3 rules you want to follow when fighting on an ADC. Now this will probably be the final video for Jinx specifically for a little while. I think I'll want to cover more general ADC things like how to play ADC as a general role, what ADCs to pick and when, things like that, like general guides for other people as well. Like I'll do a series on Caitlyn or Ashe or Misfortune, that kind of thing. There will be more Jinx guides obviously, and I mean the ADC guides will be focused around me playing Jinx because it's my main, but they will cover things kind of universal to ADC. If you enjoy this type of content, please leave a comment below, like, subscribe. I really appreciate it. I didn't actually expect these to get that many views, to be as successful as they were, and they really were, and I appreciate the people who watched them. I didn't really expect to stagger the uploads, but I've been kind of busy and I didn't actually expect to have people asking for them, which was actually kind of a new thing for me, which I actually appreciate. Thank you guys a lot. Yeah, and if you want more of me, I'll obviously still be uploading guides, but I'll also be live streaming on Twitch at Halfalfa. And yeah, I guess that's all for now. I read all the comments, so drop one below. Comment for this video is going to be snow. Comment snow below if you watch the whole thing. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.